championship and your second straight with Dario. What is it about Dario that just makes him always a perennial championship contender?
Well, I think he, you know, with his experience, obviously in the series, he knows, you know, he knows what it takes to win a championship, you know, from the first race, and you know, that's a big advantage, and he's good at all the types of circuits we go to. He, you know, obviously he's been to most of them, if not all of them, so it's a big help in that area.
Mike, again, with the 3 consecutive championships, what is it this team keeps doing to put these drivers in this position?
Well, it's a hard question to answer concisely. We just work as a group of people to be better every day. If you had to say it in one sentence, it's simply that. We work hard with both Scott Dixon and Dario Franchetti to be a team of one. And we learn from what we do right, and we learn from what we do wrong, and we realize that change is probably the most important things in our lives in order to stay ahead of the competition. And there are people that have come in front of us, both in Dario's case as race drivers, as well as owners, team organizations that have set the example and the standard for where Chip Ganassi racing really needs to go. And so we work really, really hard to achieve things like we just achieved tonight.
We'll go ahead and open it for questions. Mark.
Question for Chip. Chip, you've been in racing a long time. This year you won the Daytona 500, Indy 500, Indy Championship, and many races. Would you say this is your best year of your career as a team owner?
Absolutely, Mark. Yeah. I mean, it's. I've said it many times. I'm blessed with who I get to work with, and I'm honored to represent the companies we represent. That's who provides the foundation that our team stands on. Is our great group of sponsors and partners, and you know, to have the group of guys that we have in Indianapolis and in Charlotte, for that matter, that you know, to have consistency and to build consistency and to build history together, you get rewarded with events like this evening.
Gary.
Chip, what kind of guidance or instructions did you give Scott Dixon before this race, or did you feel it necessary to even give him any?
Yeah, I told him he had to finish between Dario and Will Power. He didn't listen to me. And no, I mean, you know, obviously, Rick, there were many scenarios playing out as the evening went on there, and you know, I didn't have to tell Scott anything, to tell you the truth. I mean, he's a professional. He knows what he has to do, and knows what it takes, and knows how important it is to win a championship. And you know, he's a wily veteran himself, and you know, he knows when I'm coming to him, he just smiles at me and says, "Don't even say it, I know." I said, "Okay." So.
Okay, for Chip and Mike, what one thing do you gentlemen do to create that championship winning culture across not only this series, but you know, Grand Am Rolex, you know, Daytona 500, Indianapolis Motor Speedway? What is the one thing that you do to create that championship winning culture?
Mike's the one that does it, so I'll defer to him.
All right, Mike.
It's a great question again. I think what we do as a group is we manage expectation extremely well, and that's hard to find in an organization. And I think over time we've built that up. I mean, we've been very fortunate. Chip certainly did more than touch on it. We have a great group of sponsors for 3 different racing organizations, really, that are all one. They all work as one. We have an organization in Concord, North Carolina. We have an organization in Indianapolis that runs a Rolex sports car team as well as the IndyCar team. And we've been very fortunate and blessed to have the resource from strong sponsors, so then we become accountable to manage that. And over time, with the experience gained from all of that, we've learned to nurture the guys along and move them through the system. And they now sell the product for us, so they work really hard on all our cars and make it happen for us.
One quick follow-up, does that, with that kind of confidence, does that mean that, you know, if they make like a, you know, a kind of a pit miscue or something like that, and say, okay, guys, we made a miscue, we'll go get them the next time, is that?
It certainly would depend, just like anything else in life, it depends on the severity of what happens. But we study what we do. We study what our people do in our shops in the buildings that don't travel. We study what our people do when they come to the racetrack, both over the pit wall as well as behind. And we move forward all the time. We try to be better every day. We try to win every day. And if we can add all those wins on a 7-day basis together, then the biggest day of the week, in this case for us this week has been Saturday night, then it culminates like it did this evening for us.
Well,
Chip, you said yesterday that you thought the pressure was on the 12 to perform. I mean, was the goal to go out and put that pressure on them? Did you feel that maybe contributed to what happened at the 12?
You know, I don't know. We'd have rather raced them on the track and won that way. I mean, that was unfortunate what happened. So, I don't know, something broke on his car, I guess. I don't know. I mean, obviously that's a great team, and my hat's off to that organization for the run they gave it for this year. I mean, obviously, it was a narrow points margin at the end, and you know, as I said before, you know, you can take any one of the Penske drivers and put them in our cars and vice versa, and I'm sure that the performance would be the same. I mean, they're a group of great drivers, all of them. And unfortunately, there's only one winner, and I wish we would have raced him on the track.
Was there any thought to try to go for the win after Will went out? I mean, because he was doing so well in clean air, was there any thought to just try to keep him up front, or was it just
you know, there were a culmination of events when that happened. You know, we were on a strategy at that time looking for some yellow, I know. So, and then you know the yellow came, and believe me, it was not a perfect night for the 10 car. I wouldn't call it a perfect night. You know, but it was we did what we had to do. But sure, when you don't win, it's not a perfect night.
any other questions for Mike and Chip? We'll go ahead. Oh, never mind. We'll go ahead and wrap things up. Congratulations, Chip.